What is up, everybody? My name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a job that I did with some buddies of mine that I went to college with. So they actually started a pressure washing business a few months back. They got the trailer, the soft wash system, and I've come in to help them out with the marketing side of the business as well as landing some more jobs. So this is also going to be a good way for me to bring you guys some more in-field content because, as some of you may know, filming and doing the job is incredibly hard. So this way it kind of takes the job off my back and I'm able to land jobs and kind of help them out with that. So I already have 2 other jobs recorded. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that way you're notified when those videos come out. But as the title says, we really underbid this one. So on this job, we learned a lot of great things, and I think you guys are actually going to be able to utilize some of these. But first, let me tell you guys about how we landed it. So I actually landed this customer through one of my favorite ways to land customers, through my Facebook ad strategy. And if you guys are interested in getting my Facebook ads course for free, check out the first link in the comment section and the description. But the jobs that I mentioned before that we have recorded actually came off of the same ad that landed this one. It's been crushing for us. This ad actually got us a commercial quote. It was for a hotel. They actually wanted all the concrete cleaned and striped. So we haven't put in the bid for that one yet, but I'm going to keep you guys up to date. But let's jump back into this current job. So this homeowner requested a quote off of the ad. As I mentioned, we went ahead and got his address as well as what he wanted done. And when I was collecting his information, he mentioned that he wanted all the concrete cleaned at his house. And I was like, okay, you know, whenever we do a house wash and a driveway cleaning, we typically include all the concrete in that as well. So it's no big deal. But once I collected this information, I went ahead and sent it over to my buddy Kale so we can go ahead and figure out what the quote was on it, because I was on the road, and to kind of save time, he went ahead and quoted this one remotely. So whenever you quote something remotely, it means that you look it up on Google Earth, you do the measurements, and you kind of multiply that times whatever your square footage price is going to be, and you come up with a price. So once Kale kind of took a look at everything, he sent me the quote over, and then I let the customer know how much the job was going to be, and if he was interested, that we could go ahead and put him on the schedule. Well, as soon as I sent that over to him, he sent me a message back and he asked if that included all of the extra concrete. Now, this is a huge tell for any of you guys who are new to quoting. When a customer receives the quote and then asks if this includes something specifically, 9 times out of 10, the price is too low. So as soon as he sent me that message, I knew something got mixed up. So I called Kale. I'm like, hey bro, did you see the extra concrete? Because he was asking me if we included it. He then called his buddy Jacob and got him to go take a look at it, and that's the other dude that you guys see washing in the video. Jacob drove out. He gave me a call and said, hey, look, we need to add at least $100 to this quote because he's got way more concrete than what we quoted. So I let the customer know that we were going to have to add another $100 onto the quote, and I kind of apologized for the miscommunication on our part and the oversight, which was already kind of like, you don't want to apologize to the customer before you even do the job. You really don't want to mess up on the quote. And that's kind of where remote quoting can be difficult sometimes. You want to make sure you can see a street view of the property, because sometimes there's things in there that you weren't able to take into account just off of the Google Earth view. So the next plot twist comes the day of the job. So this is why having something like a customer contract is very important. So that way the precedence is set from the beginning about moving anything like patio furniture or really anything that you have to move on the job whatsoever. Because your job as a service provider is to go out there and clean everything. Your job is not a mover. We're not a moving company, so we shouldn't be moving everything unless we're being compensated for it. So this customer had tables, he had chairs, he had ladders, he had boats, he had all kind of stuff that we needed to move. However, whenever we gave him a call to let him know that we would have to be charging an additional price to move all of his belongings, he got a bit irate. And then began to say that he would just go ahead and find another washing company to come out and clean everything. Well, since we didn't clarify with him from the beginning on the upcharge to move all the furniture, we went ahead and let it slide and did the job anyway. And at this point, Kale and Jacob were already there, set up, and it was just easier to go ahead and knock it out because we had already a lot of the time in the schedule. So we didn't end up backing away from the deal. We ended up doing it. So 2 big learning moments in this one are: be clear with the customer from the beginning that if you have to move any furniture, it will be an upcharge of some sort, as well as quoting remotely is a great way to save time. However, if you can't see everything, it can really work to your detriment. So a couple of good lessons learned in this one. You know, if we were going to do it over again, we probably would have charged $150, $200 higher on the quote, and we would have made sure that the customer had everything moved before arrival, or we would have gotten compensated for it. other than that, everything else went pretty smooth on this one. So on the house wash, there was some exposed wood. So Jacob did a really good job of making sure that that stayed wet, as Kale was applying the bleach to the siding, because if you guys didn't know, bleach can mess up the exposed wood. So you want to make sure you're doing proper property protection. And on this one, there was a bunch of beams that were exposed wood, and then the front door was also wood. So we made sure that we kept those wet whenever we were applying the bleach. Also, they made sure that they went ahead and bagged up all of the security cameras around the property as well, which is always good property protection, because water and excess bleach and stuff could obviously mess up cameras. So be sure you're doing that as well. And then with regards to the concrete, it was really, really dirty and probably had not been cleaned in a while. So Kayla and Jacob decided to do a pre-treatment as well as a post-treatment on this concrete, which basically means that bleach was applied before and after the surface cleaning. The pre-application helps the surface cleaner to clean faster, and the post-treatment helps to mitigate any lines in the concrete. So if you guys need help with chemical ratios or learning the protocols for cleaning different residential services, check out the second link in the comment section description, because that's going to take you to our How to Wash course. That's going to teach you everything about soft washing and pressure washing, everything that you need to know. So the only other piece to this job that was a little bit unforeseen was we did have some drainage issues on some parts of the concrete. For the most part, everything went well and we were able to push the water around, but just in some spots it was a little bit harder than others. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind whenever you're doing concrete cleaning. You want to see where that water's pooling to first. You want to make sure you clean that area first, so that way you don't get in a situation where all the water pooled where you need to clean and you can't clean there. So do the spots where the water is draining to first. But once the job was complete, we collected the money. And another important part with this process is obviously collecting reviews. Reviews are the lifeblood of any business. And I tried to follow up with this customer a few days later to get a review. And let's just say that he wasn't very receptive to that request. And I didn't really hear anything back. I always like to start off with, were you happy with how everything went? And he said yes. And then I said, hey, if you were happy, please leave us a review, as it really would help us out. But he never got back to me. So that is going to segue us into the word of the day, which is going to be underbid. So if you guys made it this far in the video, comment down below underbid and I'll hashtag you a real one. Also, if you guys want to check out Kale's channel, I'm going to leave a link for that in the comment section and the description as well. But my name is Justin. This is Forever Self-Employed. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button. But until next time, hustle hard and get that money, baby. Peace.